Last time I was working on the focus and I think it's there this time, fingers crossed. This time I'm working on microphones because I just got a new one and I'm hoping that I can make it work. But I do have my backup microphone just in case. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. My name is Silka and today I will be doing my tier ranking video of all the books that I've read in 2024. I read about 15 books in 2024, which is a little bit less than what I normally do. I'm normally around the 40 to 50 mark, so it's a little bit less. But that also makes this video very short and sweet, which is perfect because the next two ones will be a little bit longer because we have a big book haul in store. We also have my master list file that I'm going to go through. So I think it's perfect with a little bit of a shorter video. Without further ado, let's just get into it. All right, we have all the tiers. Let's get started with the first one, and that is Flawless. I'm going to put it in This Is Not For Me because it was not for me. It's a contemporary romance, and in the beginning we have this whole issue with this bull rider, and there's something about him having or being sponsored by like this big milk company, and then they ask him to drink milk and he refuses because he doesn't like milk, and then there's this big deal about this. The fact that that is like one of the main issues in the book is my main issue with the book, because I couldn't get past the fact that he didn't like milk. Like, why is that relevant? Why is that? It seems like a ridiculous plot line for me. So I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't enjoy it after that. The next book we have is The One and Only Ivan. And I'm going to put it in It's Good because I remember liking it. I remember finding all the characters super cute. I don't remember the plot line whatsoever. So I don't feel like I can put it any higher than that, which is fine. Next up we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I'm also going to have to put that in This Is Not For Me because I feel like I'm very, very picky with my contemporary romances. Like, I loved Icebreaker that I read in 2023, I think. And after that I was like, great, I'm loving contemporary romance. And then I read a couple, and that was just not the case. So I do still have a few, and I'm excited to see if I'll love them or not. But the ones that I've read in 2024 were just not it for me. So that's a spoiler for Where the Rainbows End, which I might as well just put up there in This Is Not For Me right away. Because it wasn't. It was a lot of emails back and forth, and it was very repetitive and very boring in my opinion. So that is why I'm also going to put that there. I've tried to read it once before and I stopped because it was boring, and then I decided to just give it one more go because I love the movie so much, and it just wasn't for me. I'm just gonna have to accept that. Next up we have Rat Queens, and in all honesty, I was shocked when I saw it on my list of books that I had read because I didn't remember. But then I was like, oh yeah, that was the one with the super cool badass characters, and I remember loving the characters, but I don't remember anything about the plot. So, similarly to The One and Only Ivan, I'm going to have to put it... Oh, 1 second. I'm going to have to put it in It's Good, because that was what it was. Next up, we have The Bright and the Pale. I'm going to put it in It's Good, and I'm also going to grab Wrath and Mercy, which is a sequel, and put it there as well. This is a polar fantasy where we follow this assassin, I remember, and she has to go on a quest either with her best friend or to find her best friend. I think that's part of it, and I don't remember anything apart from that. I remember it had friends to lovers, and already there it kind of lost me a little bit. So once again, similarly to The One and Only Ivan and Rat Queens, I'm gonna have to put it here because I remember enjoying the book, but I don't remember the plot. That being said, if I remembered the plot, I don't think it would have gotten any higher than this anyways. So I feel like it's right where it should be. Next up, we have These Violent Delights, and we have Our Violent Ends, both by Chloe Gong. I absolutely love These Violent Delights. That was a reread. It is one of my all-time favorite books, and the sequel, Our Violent Ends, is right up there with it. It is such a good series, and it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Despite it being that, I was still super surprised by the ending, and I don't know why, but I was. I cannot express my love for this series and for this author, and I'm so excited to go into more of her books. I think I've collected quite a few now, so I just need to, you know, get on with it and read more from her. But having as many books as I have, I often struggle with actually following through with the plans I set. Like, I'm gonna buy a lot of books from this author, so I'm gonna read them back to back. I never do it, but the ambition is there, and that's a big part of it, I think. Next up, we have Heartstopper. I'm gonna put it in Love This. We actually recently at school worked with this book and tried to figure out how we can use it in teaching, which I think is really cool, and I think it's definitely a good book to use for that, so I will do that eventually. I am gonna put it in Love This because I do love it. It is a contemporary, it's kind of a romancy thing, it's a graphic novel, and I love it. It's so cute, but it's not like an all-time favorite of mine. But I am gonna continue with it whenever the 6th volume comes out. Next up, we have Seven Faceless Saints. I'm gonna put it in It's Okay, because it's okay. There was a lot of names which made me confused and made me focus more on, is this a person that we've already heard of? Is it a new person that didn't really get an introduction? Am I supposed to remember this name for later? Is it just a name that kind of is there for 5 seconds and then they move on? I was so focused on that I didn't really follow along in the plot, and then all of a sudden stuff was happening and I was like, I don't even know what's going on. So for me, there was a lot going on in a short amount of time, and that was a little bit too much for me. So it's gonna go in It's Okay because I did like the atmosphere. I did like the premise and the idea of it. Didn't like the execution all that much. Then we have A Broken Blade, which I'm gonna put in Love This because I did actually really love it. I picked it up kind of on a whim because it was on Audible. It was a free book that was included in the subscription service, and it would run out on the 31st. So I was like, sure, I can read that as like the last book of the year, get my books up to 15. That's a nice number. And I did. And I found it super intriguing. She has this whole, like, she's such a badass female character. She reminds me a little bit of Katza from Graceling. There's also the whole who did this to you trope. There is also one bad trope and enemies to lovers, which is just 3 fantastic things that I need in all of my books. I really liked our main character. She had this really hard exterior and was kind of hard to get to know for people around her, but she was also super soft and helping. I don't remember if it was refugees or orphans or both, but I just liked that we also got to see that part of her, and that, you know, it would be a thing that Katza would also do. So that is what I mean by she is like Katza coded in a way. Then we have Fourth Wing and also Iron Flame. I'm going to place them together because yes, please, I love them. In the beginning with Fourth Wing, I was like, it's the hype. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to pick them up. It's not for me. Then I picked them up, figured out it most certainly is for me, and I'm super excited for the 3rd one that is coming out soon. I'm going to buddy read it with one of my friends at school, I think, but I also got another one of my friends hooked on it, and I have a 3rd friend also that is reading it, and all of these are just people that I don't normally talk books with, but we all found this common ground and talked about Fourth Wing together, which is super cool. I love the characters so much. I'm so invested. I cried. I was angry. I was scared. There was moments where I could just like feel my heart beating, and I was like, what's going on? This is a book. Like, it's not real characters, but I was just in there with them, which is scary because I really don't want to be at best guy at all. Finally, this is another one where I don't really remember a whole lot, so I'm going to have to put it in It's Good. It was good, but I don't remember a whole lot. Once again, as I said with Seven Faceless Saints, or Saints, not Sins, I really like the atmosphere of divine rivals. We're set in like this war, zone. Maybe I think it's in the 30s or 40s. We have a magical element, but it's not like completely revealed, if I remember correctly, what it is. We have rivals to lovers, which is fine. It's not enemies to lovers, but it's up there. And it's just a very soft, kind of slow-paced, in my opinion, fantasy. And I like it, but it's not a favorite of mine. I do have the sequel, and I'm excited to get to it. I don't know when that will be. It's a nice fantasy that I think is going to end in a very interesting way, because I have no idea where it's going from here. So, yeah, that's actually it. That's my tier ranking for 2024. Very short, very sweet, as I said. I think that's it. As I said, a short video, but we need that from time to time. And normally my tier rankings are really, really long and I just keep on rambling. So I tried to make it extra short this time around, because the next 2 videos will be anything but that. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me what your top 5 books was of 2024, because I want some recommendations. If you just want to let me know that you're here, I think today we should leave a book emoji, any kind of book emoji that you want to put there. I don't remember what I say towards the end of my videos. I think I should go and watch some of them back, because I really don't remember. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and until I see you next time. Bye!